Hello, this is going to be just a quick little overview video about how you can use Desmos to make graphical displays and compute things like the mean, the median, and the standard deviation if you don't have your own calculator. So in the recorded lessons I did show this, uh, but I also showed how you could use the calculator as well. So instead of using the calculator and typing the data into a list, so instead of going to stat and edit and typing it in there to get things like the mean and the median and the 5-number summary, you can also do it in Desmos and use Desmos to make a box plot and histogram. So I'm going to show that now. So you need to go to desmos.com, click the Start Graphing button, and the first thing you need to do is you need to define your data set. So you need a data set. I'm going to use the first example from the problems that I asked you about, which was um, 10 games from before the shot clock was implemented in the NBA and how many shots were taken in each game. So I just simply copy and paste the data. Then I need to define the data with a variable. So I'm going to use D for data. So D is equal to, and then you have to use a bracket. And you can just copy and paste it in there. And now Desmos knows that the variable D represents this data set. And then you can make box plots and histograms, and then I'll show you at the end how you can do mean, median, and standard deviation and things like that. So what you need to do is you can go down to the keypad, and then you go over to functions, and you choose distribution tab. And there's histogram and box plot. Let's do the box plot first. So you just simply click box plot, and then you type in the letter D. You want to make a box plot based on the data set D. You'll see it doesn't appear at first, and the reason why is because you can see all my values are in the 100 range, or just above or just below it. So what you do is you click this little magnifying glass, which is a zoom fit button. It'll automatically scale your axis. And voila, there's your box plot. It shows you your distribution of your data set. You can also make a histogram. So you go over to the keypad again, go over to functions, distribution tab, hit histogram, variable D for your data set, and then it plots it. The downside right now is our data set's kind of small. There's only 10 points, and so it's just plotting each of the points individually. So you can adjust the bin width here. What you do is you put a little comma, and then you need to say how wide you want your bins are. Maybe we want them to be like, I don't know, 10 wide or something like that. And that's not great either. Maybe a little wider, 15. That's maybe a little bit more helpful. You can decide how you're going to align your bins. Right now it's on centers. You could do left align or center, however you'd like to, but now it makes a histogram. If you want to hide the box plot, you simply click this button, and there's a nice histogram of your data set. So that's how you can make graphical displays. Now, if you want to calculate things like median and mean and standard deviation, you go to the keypad again, or you can actually simply type it in, but I'll show you in the keypad where it is. You go over to functions, and this time you go to the stats tab, and you'll see all the things that you can calculate. You can calculate means and medians, the minimum value, the maximum value. You can do the quartiles, which is how you get the 5-number summary. There's standard deviation. So actually, you're going to want to use standard deviation for P stands for population because you have all of the values in your data set. So let's do the median first. So I'm going to hit median, and then I just hit D, and it'll tell me what the median is. The median is 121, which is why you see in the middle of your box plot there's a line at 121, because in a box plot, this line in the middle is where the median is, the 50th percentile. If you want the mean, you can just simply type mean, because if you go over here and go to the functions and stats, you can see mean right there, or you can just type it in. Mean, parenthesis D, and it'll tell you the average value is 119.1. If you want standard deviation, you're going to want to use standard deviation P, because it's assuming that the data sets that were given were for the entire population. So you would use standard deviation P. Oops, don't want mean again. New cell, standard deviation P. And there would be the standard deviation, the average distance from the average, kind of a measure of the spread of the data set, how consistent it was. So standard deviation here is about 14.67, let's call it about 15, just for convenience sake. It means that most games were no more than 15 above 119 or below 119. So most games were between what? If you subtract 14, you're at 105. If you add 14, you're at 133. So that means most games before the shot clock had between 105 and 133 shots per game. And that's how you can use Desmos to calculate these values and make graphical displays. Going forward, if you would like to use Desmos to help you on assessments, you're more than welcome if you don't have a graphing calculator for yourself. So that is a valid tool while we're at home. So thank you very much. Have a good one.